Part 3 of our Google Forms training. So far, you've been able to create a form, you've added questions, and you've even customized it. So now I think it's ready to send out to our students. So one of the things that we can do here is go on up to the send button here. Okay, so we're going to send this. So we've created this tracking how fast you did your mile. You get to choose who you are. You write down or type out how long it took you, and you're able to reflect on that run. Okay, so we're going to click send here, and we're going to get a couple different options. One is we can email this. Now, if you're going to send these out to, let's say, other teachers, for them to fill out for you, that would be great. But since we're doing this with students, it's not really that good of an option here. If you go over to here and you have a website that you use, maybe a Weebly or something like that for your own class, that'd be good. You can embed this if you know how to do something like that. But since most of us don't, we're probably not going to. So if you go up here to the link, this will give you a big long link. Now, there's a couple different things we can do with this, right? So first thing I want to do before all that is let's shorten it because that was too much. So now it's short and easy to use, so we can copy that. Now once we have that copied to our clipboard, we could take this and throw this into Seesaw and make it be a link for students to use, so once they get in, they can type that out and use that Google Forms that way just to access it. Or since we're using iPads and we don't really want a lot of students going in and logging in and using up all that valuable time that we have, just get their iPads and we're going to scan it into a QR code. So again, you had it copied, and if you go over here to the site www.qr-code.generator.com, we can turn this into a QR code, print that out, and just have students scan it really quickly at their stations independently. So all you have to do is go to here, click in there, paste in that thing that we just made, and voila, you now have a QR code. Now you can do some silly little logo thing like this, scan me or something like that, but it really doesn't matter. I wouldn't mess with shape or color or any of that stuff. That's just, an extra waste of time that you could use to do something else. So we're going to download it. So if you click download JPEG, all right, if you look up top, it's being scanned. It says sign up. We're not going to right now. We're just going to let it go. And if you notice, in just a few seconds, it will pop up down here as something you can use. Okay, so you go over here and you click this, and you can show in Finder. Okay, it will pop up, and you can open up your downloads folder, and this is it. Now, I already have one here, but here's my second one for the new one. Okay, what you can also do then is drag that into a Word document here. And now you have this thing you can print out that says scan me for your students, and then you can put a label at the top, just a simple header here, and that allows you to say who it's for. Very easy. You can create a bunch of these for each of your classes and put them up around stations very easily. Okay, let's get this out of the way here. Okay, so now you've gotten it out to your students. Okay, you've sent it out to them. You've made a QR code from the URL that we created over in the forms. Now it's time to view the response tab and have students take it. So if you want to see what yours looks like or what it looks like before you actually do that, you can click preview here and you can use this one. You could actually probably use this right here, this URL, to create that QR code as well. But this is what it's going to look like for when your students fill it out. Now, once your students have done that and they've completed it, and they've filled it out, or even you filled it out yourself to make it easy for you, you can go over here to what is called the Response tab. The Response tab allows you to see all of the data that you collected in more of a visual style here. So it'll give you pie charts, it'll give you lists like this, and it'll give you these reflections right here. Now, it'll do this for everything, not just these questions, but you can look at your data this way if you like. Okay? You can look at it per question to see which question. So we're on question 1 here. and it says what it is, and this we can see what students picked. There you go, they picked their names for that one. For this one, they wrote down their times. You can see each of the times, okay? And then you can see what they responded to for each of their reflections. So you can look at things this way. You can also look at things through individuals. So the first person was Aaron. We saw that he picked himself. And we can see all of Aaron's answers by himself. And we can go to just each student, and we can see Brett did his as well. And I even, for the sake of this, come on, let's go all the way to 9. Okay. And Aaron did a second one, and we can see his. Okay. So we can go back and look at all of these things. Notice this one, Aaron did more than one question. He picked that one more than once. So we can accept those questions right here, or if we're done accepting questions, so even if somebody fills it out again, we can click this and not accept those questions anymore. Now, this is nice, but I want to be able to organize the information just a little bit better. So what we're going to do is we're going to go up here and we can view response sheets, but if you haven't done this before, you click it and you can create a response sheet. Now, it'll allow you or say, hey, do you want to choose one you've already made, or do you want it to create one specifically for this? I recommend that you use one that it creates. So create a new one and it will pop up. You can check over here on link things like that. We're not going to mess with these things because we don't need to. Okay. So once you click that, a tracking sheet will pop up and it will look something like this in Sheets. Okay. Now what we're going to do is a few things here. This is horrendous to look at. All of this stuff is kind of, cut off. So what we're going to do is we're going to click and highlight all of this information here. I like to highlight just a little bit more just in case. And then I can then go up to Format here. I'm going to go to Text Wrapping. I'm going to click Wrap, and that'll allow all the words to be seen at the same time. So now if you look at this, we can see that we can read all of the responses, okay? And everything fits within each of the squares, and it adjusts for that. Okay. If you want, you can even move this out to make that a little bit wider. Okay. Next thing is we want to be able to kind of organize, because the whole point of this doing sheets is organization. So there's a couple different things we can do. Let's say you want to organize your run by who ran it the fastest, or you want to do it by who ran it the slowest, kind of that order here. Well, the order over here is definitely out of order. So if you go over and you hover over the letters, you'll notice that you'll start to see them have these little drop-down arrows. These drop-down arrows allow you to do all of the cool organizing. So let's organize this here real quick. You click that, you come down here, and here are your two things that you're really going to be using. It's called Sort Your Sheet. A to Z just means lowest to largest, or biggest to smallest here right there. So we're going to start here, and we're going to organize this by our fastest time and all the way to our slowest time. It's going to organize all of these by that. So click on here. And now notice it will tell you the slowest time, or fastest time, all the way down to the slowest time. And then it will move all of the other things accordingly for those answers. So we know that Frank ran the fastest and Elizabeth ran the slowest. Okay, we can also do that by names as well, because we know that Aaron did 2 of them here. Now it did organize his that way. It's kind of by a fluke. But we'll go over here, go time. All right, we'll go up to that arrow. We'll go by sorting A to Z by alphabet. And now we can get Aaron's first run that he did, and then also Aaron's second run that he did, if you choose to do things separate days. Let's say you did it at the beginning of the year, and you're doing this mid-year. We can look at that and say, well, here's Aaron's beginning of the year using that timestamp. Here's Aaron's end of the year by that timestamp. Okay. If you also want to do that, you can organize that by timestamp as well. Okay, so we can say here's the beginning of the year, and here would be mid-year. I know that's just a few hours difference, but you get the idea of by organizing it by dates and time that way. Okay. So now you know how to look at your data from responses in here. You know how to create a spreadsheet based on that. You know how to make your spreadsheet easily read by using the text wrap feature. And you now know how to organize it by using the sorting sheet buttons. to be able to organize things in ways in which it's easier for you to kind of go back and look at in a very useful way. All right, guys, thank you for watching, and that concludes our PD for Google Forms for now. If you guys want to get into something even more, let me know, and we can start kind of getting deeper into it to really customize it even more. All right, guys, thank you.